Sup? Yeah, you already know who. Me, as always. Now, y'all might be wondering why in the world, why in the world I'm actually doing this. Well, because the next day is gonna be my last of the lease. Because here's the thing, though. During the morning time, where it's all sunshine, the flowers are just so beautiful, the birds are of course chirping, all the amazing ones when the hotness starting to glow into the beam out there to make my skin more reflect or something. But anyways, during the morning, waking up from my bed, like it is, like so. And then all of a sudden, I was brushing my teeth. That I just did. Putting some dress on, putting clothes on, which, heck, pretty darn obvious why. Drinking the chocolate milk before somebody showed up. But someone did manage to show up. Well, I was busy all day drinking the milk. And then after that, I went out to work. And yet, without a doubt, I did the job test upon there, such as get rid of trash from the bar, lifting up the chairs and putting the way back down, starting to organize one-to-one because I am an organizer. I organize different objects or different things to make it nice and neat instead of all day making it so sloppy, because if bunch of these grown men over here clearly thinks that they did an amazing job, but instead of that they just made it so sloppy. That just leaves me to fix up what they couldn't do from all the way back down from scratch. And so I managed to do that anyways. And then for the floors on the bar, I managed to sweep up that. And the floors from the liquor store, I managed to sweep up on that too. And then, and here comes one of my worst job tags that I hate of all. And that would be mopping. Yes, mopping has always been my worst job tags of all time. And even few of the people agrees that mopping is the worst. So far that one of my cousin already know that. Few of the people that I talk to, they already know that. But clearly somebody in this house, they didn't quite get it. Or he didn't quite get it at all. Because they clearly think that mopping is good. Well, yeah, of course, though, in reality, mopping is, of course, just boring. It's just a waste of time. And yet, when I was grabbing the soap detergent that they usually have every now and then, when I tried to go there, the door was locked. It was so locked that I couldn't even get in. I can't even use my whole force just to open up. And no, I cannot break the door. Cause if I break the door, that means the door might be damaged, and yet that door will also damage me. So I just use a different one, such as using the spreading bottle. Because back in the days, the door was, of course, really old, and the same old doorknob, it always opens. And it was so good just to have the door being open and me just grabbing the soap detergent to grab it over there and be all good up. But when that new doorknob was there and it was fully locked, and something tells me though that, of course, somebody had to, of course, said to me that I had to go talk to both of these two. And particularly these two, did something to me very, very badly though. And yet, I wasn't gonna ask these two, because after what they just did to me, I'm not about to give them a good treat of a bone. Because that same bone became so rotten And when that same bone is rotten, it hurts. Because yeah, I can't take that rotten bone then just like accepted it as a treat of it. So because of that, I have to use a spraying bottle one. Managed to do all the four perfectly fine, and same thing goes all the one. Pour all the water out, and then start doing my 3 favorite job tasks. That is 10 times. Nah, scratch that. More like 9,000% better than the poor old mopping. And that'll be organizing the shelf, which I like to do. Refilling up the fridge, also the one I like. And most of all, breaking every single boxes, because whenever I see those boxes, I always see them as the people that I hate. Some people could be resemblance to my family. Some of the people that could be referring to as some of my friends. Some people that could be, of course, resemblance to either the worker or a boss. Or some other people could be, of course, some of the ones who's been damaged my heart pretty darn badly. So I imagine these bosses as people and release all of my anger out to put it at the bosses. Because once I break the bosses, it feels good. I feel good on myself and release all my anger out of the bosses rather than releasing all my anger out to make people ponder. And here I thought somebody in this house clearly thinks that someone can just like get me angry. Well, here's the thing though, bub. That's not gonna happen. I learned it from most of the videos that I learned of, and I learned not to do that again. Cause once I do that, that means the huge type of headache will might appear and start to bug me the whole way through. So yep, that's what I just did. And ever since then, when I finish up all my job tasks, I decided to like call an Uber to take me back to the house. And ever since then, I just like go back to the house. I started to relax a bit until that's where, yeah, of course, all of a sudden I get a knock on my door and open it up. And guess what? Guess what, people? Someone opened the door, and who would have guessed it? My father. Yeah, my dad managed to, yeah, of course, show up in my room, and then just like started questioning me, saying that, but how come you basically come to home so early? And I said to him, saying that, well, I finished all the job tasks because yet. Here's the thing though, because for yesterday, when I finished all my job tasks, I was going through my phone to basically watch some of the videos because my body needs to relax a bit instead of all day being so like hard-headed, being so sweaty, and most of all getting injured by getting so many cuts around my hands, arms, feet, and worst of all, my back. And because of that, my father was questioning me, saying that, and like judging me for some reason, though, which is quite a wrong for that. So yeah, if that happens from yesterday, then the same one can happen from today. So I was like, I ain't gonna do this again. So because of that, I just called an Uber and go back to the house instead of all day staying there the whole way through while having someone else judge me of based off what? Based off what? And yet he also questioned me, saying that, have I ever asked these two? And those two are, yeah, of course, first of all though, for the one person who just snitched on me is Flacco. And the person that, yeah, of course, bringing up the cops involved, when these two know dang well that the cops did this to me. Because the past few years ago, when I was a kid, back in Florida, it was all sunset. I was in the middle of the road with the car with my mom, and I was crying multiple times on the road because I I was being a spoiled brat. And ever since then, I was so crying so much. A police car shows up out of nowhere. And then, yeah, of course, my mom happened to roll down the window. And even the cop managed to roll down the window. And the moment that I look on his face was so serious. And yet, he was even wearing a shady glasses. Kind of like the shady glasses like this, for instance. So he was wearing this. For example, he was looking at me like this so seriously. And then saying to me so seriously, saying that, you're going to jail. And the moment he said it so seriously, it got me even more crying. And all the tears wiped out. And you know the rest of the story though. My face became all serious, and yet I tended to behave like this. So the only reason why my face was so serious, and the only reason why I even looked like this, is because the cops did this to me from all those years ago. And because of that, it just got me all messed up ever since for Ariel, of course, bring out the cops involved in this. And because of that just leads me not to forgive Ariel, not to forgive Funko like that at all. And yet, the only simple way to fix all of this, to go back the way it's supposed to be, without having anything issue to begin with though, is for either Funko and Ariel to give me a simple apology, just a simple apology, but without any single explanation. Because for example though, when my friends treat me dirty, they usually say sorry to me without having a single explanation. And so far, I forgive them and trust them. And even the teachers also, of course, apologizes to me because they feel so guilty of how in the world that even I'm going through all this. And because of that, I had to forgive them and of course trust them because of that. Because of course the apology is a key of forgiveness. And once these two does give an apology, then I will simply of course respect it and of course give them trust. And yet I will definitely apologize to these two if they apologize to me first. Once they do though, that means I will definitely apologize to them. I'll probably say I'm sorry for stealing of course the candy bars in front of the camera. And yet I will definitely of course ask them for the key upon there to open up the doorknob, the new doorknob, and use the soapy torch so that way I will continue working all the way through. But I'll tell you what though. But however though, if these two doesn't apologize to me though, then this next day will be my last one. As in my last day at Diamond Liquors. And yet, if I ever get of course suspended, then I don't need to. And yet, if these guys ever say saying that I am fired, no need for that because I quit. Meaning that I am quitting my job for good this time. And these two, who are of course not my friends, not my worker, not my boss, but more of my enemies. Because if these two don't apologize by their own without having any help from anyone else, then that means these two are my enemies. And these two will no longer going to see me for all eternity though. And as for the shelves, it's gonna be more sloppier because so far you can thank these two for your course doing so, and yet my father on your hand though did a good job over here of your course turning that away for of course the first son from 2000, who's been working in Diamond Liquors for so many years. And the show's gonna be more messy, more sloppy, that these grown men couldn't even figure out what to actually do. So yeah, because of that, this is truly it. My last final job at Diamond Liquors, and I am never going to work there ever again. And one of y'all might be questioning that, like, Black Gamer, if you're going to be quitting your job, where else are you going to work? And that, I'm glad you asked that. Because overall though, there are plenty of jobs out there that I have to go to somewhere else though. Like, for example, I could be either working in of course of the supermarket, or work at CVS at nighttime. And if it does, then well, needless to say, it'll be alright. And of course, my money being of course all wasted, is whatever. Cause if my money is truly of course wasted, then well, I might as well of course go for like a job interview for one of the jobs upon there. Something that I should have done a long time ago by of course staying far away from these two, including my father. So yeah, I think that's surely it then. That's all I have to say for here on out. And if they ever of course question me about like when and why I just pull out the video, then well, these two, and including my father, will truly get the message. Because yet, I try to be nice upon them. I try to be nice. But yet, if they clearly don't get that, then well, clearly, there's something going on with them. So yeah, see y'all next time for other video. So catch you later.